welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing really well. Happy 2026. Today we are gonna be chatting. I've literally slumped in my chair because that's the vibe of the video, and I feel like I have quite a nice list of things I want more of and things I want less of in 2026. So I'm going to be discussing that with you. I feel like through this list, you might come to know a lot of things about me, or that's the hope. And I hope you leave with something to think about. So let's just get started. I'm going in first with my outs of the year. And the first one is ruminating on negative thoughts and feelings too much. I am a very naturally pessimistic person, so I tend to think a lot about the negative side of things. It becomes like a discussion point with people I know rather than it just being a thing I went through and now I'm over it. It takes me time to get to that point. But this year, I feel like I want to try to keep those negative things as much as I can away from like conversation, away from being a thing in my head that I'm constantly thinking about. I want to just like write about it in my journal and be done with it once and for all and just move on. Like, there is no point revisiting that thing again and again and again. So that's something that I want to stop doing in 2026. Next, we have reviewing every new launch. This I've always been quite mindful of. Like, I've tried not to just go and talk about every single new product that's launched, but I feel like in 2025 I found myself doing it a lot more than I would have liked, just because I wanted enough fodder for my content. I felt like it was an easy talking point to go and talk about the new product that's just launched. And on top of that, I got to a point where I was saying like very neutral or nice things about every new launch, and I myself was like, wait, I don't know if I even believe that. So I want to start being more mindful of what I'm saying about products, and also very mindful of what launches I'm talking about, because I've been in this industry now for so long that I feel like pretty easily tell when it's a worthy launch and when it's a not so worthy launch. So I want to be very discerning about what I talk about and what I give FaceTime to on this platform. I'm also very hyper aware that when I talk about a feature, a new product, it automatically, invariably will make viewers and maybe at least one of you feel like you need to go out and buy that thing. And I don't believe that that's true. Unless it's like a really, really innovative product, something you will not already have in your makeup collection, I don't think we need to replace every product every month. And I hope me not doing that is going to help just overall all of us be more mindful of what we're consuming and buying and purchasing. The next thing is wired headphones. This might be very controversial because it's very aesthetic, and I feel like people are just buying it for the aesthetic. I don't even know. I personally have some sort of vendetta against it because it's so impractical. It always gets so tangled, and I'm not someone who struggles to keep my devices charged. So if you are someone like that, then I can understand why you want a wired headphone. Literally is so overstimulating. It feels the same as having lip gloss on and your hair is open. You know that feeling? It's so annoying. So I don't think you'll ever see me with wired headphones, to be honest. Next out is not backing up my photos and pictures. This is my deepest, darkest fear. I am not even lying. Like, if someone asked me, what's your biggest, darkest fear, it would be losing all of my content. Because let me explain, okay? Since I was in school, I had a big Mac, okay? So when I had to move from this big Mac desktop to subsequent laptops my whole life, I've maintained some sort of hard disk where I've kept everything from every device. So that hard disk has my backup. I actually don't know if I should tell you this, because what if you put evil eye on me and I lose all my data? See, that's how fearful I am about it. I don't want to lose my data because I used to be a photographer. I used to do like so many different things before I actually started doing content. All of my documents, all of like these important memories are stored in one place, and I've always made it a point to like back up my phone also, like my current phone also, onto my laptop and then subsequently onto this hard disk. And I have not done it in a while. If I think about it too much, I start becoming extremely paranoid and anxious about it. Like, I can't even like gather my words right now because I am getting like sweaty thinking about it. But it's very serious, okay? I don't want to lose my data. I just need to get it done, and I need to get a system where it's gonna be done every month or something, so that I'm not feeling this panicked, anxious feeling. I feel like I just bore my heart out to you. It's a very deep confession I feel like I don't talk about to anyone, but it's a big fear of mine. I need to stop being lazy about backing up my photos and my backups. Okay, next thing is over explaining myself, which is ironic because I feel like I just did that when it came to me explaining the whole hard disk and backup situation. And this point kind of like just extends to other things as well, with people, in relationships. Until now, in some situations, I feel I've tried to like explain myself and try to reconcile differences. How do I explain this? I feel like I've not been very good with agreeing to disagree with people. Does that make sense? Like, if one person and I are disagreeing about something, I find it to be a very confrontational energy that I need to fix myself. I take it upon myself to do something about that energy and fix it. And now I've gotten to a point where I'm like, but if I'm taking the effort to fix that energy, why isn't the other person also doing that same thing? And I've come to the realization that my whole thought process and action here is actually me carrying the emotional labor of maintaining that relationship and that situation and course correcting it. And basically what I'm trying to say is just let things be. Even if you're in a disagreement, even if you're in like some sort of situation where your ego is just screaming at you to go and explain yourself and make yourself understood and make them see your point of view, this can even be like at work, it can even be with friends, it can even be with like your boss or your colleague or your like family members, sisters, brothers, whatever it is. Take a back seat. You don't need to explain yourself. I feel like with time, things will just fall into place. They will just understand your POV or they may not, but that's not your problem. Like, you don't have to go actively fix that thing. Did that make sense? I don't know. I feel like that was kind of vague, but it was such an important lesson I learned in 2025. Even sometimes with my content and stuff, I feel like I go and explain to you what I'm gonna be doing or what I'm thinking or what I'm feeling. There's no need for it. You can just start doing the thing or acting differently or pursuing something and not have to explain it. Yeah, explaining myself excessively is out of the door, which is so funny because I feel like I did it again. Anyway, the next thing is working myself to the point of triggering my neck pain. As you know, for 2 years now, I've been struggling with neck pain and I keep pushing past it. Like, I am like, yes, this pain is there, but I'm gonna just live my life anyway. And I've gone to different doctors. I've tried to take different steps to reduce the pain. It gets better for some time and then it comes back. And I think this year I finally realized that I'm doing that to myself when I force myself to work against my body, like beyond my limit of what I'm capable for that day. If I can sense that my back is in pain or like some sort of tension is building here, I just need to stop doing the thing. Like, it's okay. Other people's sense of urgency doesn't automatically have to mean that it's yours also. You can take your own time to do things and the other person can wait. I need to just have better boundaries. So yeah, at least just for the sake of my own neck and my own health, I need to stop working to the point of like exhaustion. Next is sweaty armpits. And this this is so funny. I have hyperhidrosis, I'm pretty sure. Okay, like on my hands and on my armpits, I sweat a lot. Even when I'm in like a cold room, my armpits are sweating, and it's a very uncomfortable feeling because you're damp constantly, but it's such a weird feeling also because the rest of your body is dry. It's very inconvenient because no matter what deodorant I use, I am still feeling like I'm smelly. I want sweaty armpits to be out in this year, and for that I am thinking very seriously about getting Botox for my armpits. In case you didn't know, Botox is not just for like physical appearance. It is a very well known treatment for hyperhidrosis. So yeah, I feel like sweaty armpits need to be out for this year for me personally. Okay, next thing is making up new insecurities. I do this way too often because I look at myself on the camera all the time. I'm constantly nitpicking the way I look. It really impacts even the way I shoot my content. Like, I don't shoot myself in certain angles and I edit out a lot of my clips because my double chin is showing, or my arm is looking too fat, my stomach flab is showing, or something. And on the 31st of 2025, I fell on my face. It caused my tooth to become dislodged, this one. Immediately, I had to go and get it fixed. I have a retainer now to keep it in its place. And as someone who has worn braces, who's done Invisalign, etc., had retainers for like 5 years, my insecurity of my lisp has come back because of this like temporary retainer that I'm wearing now. I am constantly in my head about, oh, your lisp is so obvious, it's so uncool, whatever. It's making me feel so bad about myself. I really need to stop doing that to myself because it's such a negative headspace to be in constantly. Yeah, making up new insecurities, I feel like needs to be out in 2026. Okay, next is bad gigs. I'm a gig person. I've gone to so many gigs and festivals. Sadly, there have been so many music things that I've gone to that have been such a waste of time. Last year I went to a Glass Beams concert and they played for all of 1 hour. The VIP section was the closest to the stage, and then behind them was like the general ticket, which is the one I got. But in between the two, they had set up so many camera people, and the stage was so foggy and so far away that I couldn't even see them on stage. I paid so much to go and see them live, and I got like a 1 hour performance that was so upsetting, to be honest. Imagine if like people had flown in to see them and things like that. That would be so heartbreaking. A lot of these festivals now have become so overcrowded and so commercial. It's not even about the music or the artist anymore. I feel it's so much more about like brand sponsorships and influencers. It sounds so funny because I'm supposed to be an influencer, but influencers coming and shooting content for specific brands, that I feel like it just takes away from the music itself. And the way that a festival is managed is so important to the overall experience that you have at the festival. I'm so done with these like one-off gigs that are poorly managed, poorly marketed, very misleading. I think I want to be very selective about the experiences I go for. I think I just should get out of the country to experience better ones. Next is misaligned brand events. I feel in 2025 and 24, I went to every brand event almost that came my way. I know at one point I was kind of praying for it. I was like, when is this gonna happen for me, etc. Now that I've been to so many, I've realized they don't actually serve that much of a purpose after a point. Okay, not saying they don't serve a purpose at all. They do, especially when you're like starting out or you're a new creator. It's really important to build those relationships in person. And I've said this before, the fact that I was in Bombay, even though I'm from Chennai, has really made such a difference as to where I'm at as a creator now, because I was able to go for these events and build this one-on-one relationship with people IRL, which creators in Chennai or other cities don't have the luxury of doing. I'm not saying it's wasteful. I'm saying after a point they become too rigorous and too surface level, because it's the same thing you're doing at every event. You're seeing the same people at every event. You can't possibly support every single brand. There are brands that you personally like more, or there's some actual reason for you to be at that event, right? So I think any misaligned brand events for me personally should be out of the window in 2026. I spoke a lot, man. Feel like I need a break. This is not even the full video. We still have like all my ins to discuss. It's the first time I'm doing a video like this, like discussing my ins and outs. Honestly, such a nice way for me to like review things that I've done in the past and set my intentions for the next year and further. Let's discuss my ins for 2026. Number one is experiences, trips, and holidays. I did a lot of this in 2025 and I am so glad that I did. They have really been so much fun. Every single trip and experience I've like given myself has been so rewarding. I don't think I need to explain this further, okay? I just want to do more of that in 2026 and beyond that also, because I find it so fulfilling. On the topic of trips, the next thing that I really need to start doing in 2026 is actually developing the film roles I shoot. I have finished a whole roll of film on my film camera in Korea, and that was back in September. I've not gone and developed the film. Like, it's been so many months and I still haven't done it. I don't know why I'm so lethargic about it. I feel like the process is a little bit tedious. It's not as simple as just taking a photo, right? But I want to get better at actually developing the film so that I have these pictures as memories and mementos. But also I think it'll be so cute as like film camera dumps, and imagine if I start doing that like on a monthly basis. It'll be so cute. Next thing that's in is not waiting for company. In 2025 I forced myself to do some things by myself, regardless of if like other people were interested in doing it or if I had company to do it. I took myself to movies. I think I did like 3-4 movies by myself, and I really enjoyed it, to be honest. I feel it was so easy to just like decide I want to go for a movie and just go for a movie, rather than like messaging someone and asking if they're down and then picking a date that works for them and for you and then booking the tickets. Yeah, it's such a whole process. But when it was just me and myself and it was so easy. I could just go and watch a movie, and it actually showed me that I had options. Like on a day when you're just sitting at home and chilling, you have the option to do whatever you want with your free time. It's not like you have to be at home. You can go out, you can go shopping, you can go like to a cafe, you can just have like a nice coffee by yourself. I did a lot of that in 2025. Not a lot, I did a fair amount. This year I want to do more. Next in is curating a set of go-to products or clothes or whatever. I feel over the years I've gotten better at doing this and having a system for each thing. Like if it's my everyday makeup and my outfit, then this is my go-to formula. If it's a glam makeup, then this is my go-to formula. If I want curly hair, this is my go-to formula. It removes a lot of the fatigue that comes with deciding things. So I want to do more of that, like just have systems for different things and just execute rather than like spend too much time thinking and wondering. Another thing that I want more of in 2026 is declutters. I want to declutter as often as I can, because I think I just am hoarding too many things without knowing I'm hoarding too many things, and half of those things I'm not even using. So I want to declutter a lot more. The next in is meeting my body where it is. That ties back to this like whole neck pain thing that I was telling you about. So when I was in Chennai for the New Year's, I not only fell and hurt my tooth, I also triggered my neck pain a lot, and I finally went to a physio who actually finally told me what the issue was, and he gave me like a game plan of how to deal with it, which involves a lot of like exercises I have to do every day, twice a day, and they are such slow, very precise movements. As someone who was like heavily strength training and going to Pilates and working out like 4 times a week and stuff, this slow down was a lot. Like I felt like a failure, because I was like, man, finally I'm doing something about my body and trying to get to like the fitness level I want, and suddenly now I'm like forced to step back. I've realized time and time again, when you force your body to go where it is incapable or basically doesn't want to go, it's not gonna work. This even applies to like my menstrual cycle and stuff. When I'm PMSing, my brain shuts down, like massive brain fog. I can't decide a single thing, let alone what I want to eat or what I want to wear or what content to post that day. I feel like my brain just turns into mush, and every time I get that feeling, I guilt myself about it and make myself feel small, that I'm not better, you know? I just need to stop fighting it. Like I just need to accept that right now my body is asking for this, and I need to give my body whatever it's asking for rather than constantly shaming it. Yeah, so I think I just need to meet my body where it's at and not like be so hard on it, because it does a lot for me, if I'm being honest. Another thing that's in is catching my own biases or my thought patterns or loops that I'm stuck in. This ties back to how I used to do therapy. I have spoken very openly about how I used to do therapy, and I feel honestly like in the 1990s or 2000s, or basically like the older generation, when they used to go to therapists, it was always someone extremely well trained, someone who was really good at what they did, and for that the price that they were paying made sense. But now I feel like there are so many therapists, like literally every friend of a friend is a therapist, and a lot of them are also really young and inexperienced and unable to catch my thinking the way that I would want a therapist to. Like if I'm telling them something and I'm saying I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that, I feel today a lot of therapists validate every single thought that you have. It's literally like a human chat GPT. Whereas I just want people to be like, that's not true. Stop thinking that. You are in this sort of bias. Stop, like catch yourself out on it. I've had to learn how to do that myself after shopping for the right therapist, like with maybe 3 4 5 different therapists. I felt like I was not getting enough from that experience, so I had to like train myself how to do this, and I got good at it via just journaling. And it's also really helpful when you have like people around you who are good at doing that and not just validating your every single thought. So yeah, I think this is so in, like all of us need to know how to do this so that we're not constantly just thinking from our own singular narrative. Like there are so many narratives that you can be thinking from. If you think about that, your perspective is put in place. Does that make sense? I don't know how to explain this, bro. The next thing that's in is buttermilk. In 2025, I've consumed so much buttermilk, and I used to hate curd. Like I really dislike curd. I don't know why. As a kid, I never really liked it. I never really had it. But after moving to Bombay, I've started to make exceptions with it, and I actually enjoy buttermilk. And in 2025 I had so much of it, especially for like my gut. In case you didn't know, I went through like that 2 week thing of like pre and probiotics, all doctor prescribed, because I was having massive gut issues. Buttermilk has helped a lot, and I really want to have more of it in 2026. It's such a refreshing drink. The next in for this year is experimenting and not being afraid to be imperfect. And I think I tried my fair bit in 2025 to start pushing my content in different ways. Like if you go through my Instagram, you'll see I've tried so many different aesthetics. I've tried like different types of content on purpose, like just to get out of my own way, because I think I gave myself way too many rules of how things should be, the font I should use, the niche I should fit in, and stuff like that. And I think I've been wanting to break out of that mental jail for like 2 years, 3 years, and I just didn't know how. And the answer was quite simple. Actually, I just had to do it. Now that I've done that a couple of times in 2025, I feel like in 2026 I want to continue doing more of that. And that might mean that I'm becoming like a different type of creator than the one that like people are used to seeing and following. And I'm okay with that. I thought that if I make this change, then I lose a bunch of followers. Isn't it better to do something not so comfortable in the short term so that your long term is better? Like, that's the thought process. I'm gonna try to experiment and get creative with my content as much as I can in this year. This is an in which actually is very similar to the out I mentioned earlier, which was explaining myself excessively. So the in is stepping away from situations and letting other people win, because I feel that this is just coming from a place of ego. You need to just put it aside. It's fine. You don't have to win every debate. You don't have to win in every conversation or every situation. It's fine, just let it go. Okay, the final in for 2026 is hairspray, because in 2025, the fair end of 2025, I discovered that actually it does something. It actually does help. It actually keeps your hairstyle in place. I don't know why it took me so long. Maybe it's like also the kind of hairspray, the one I'm using now. It's very, 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 very good, and it doesn't smell like hairspray. Yeah, those are all my ins and outs for this year. This is a very long video. I hope you found some things to think differently about based on this video, and that it gave you a very good idea of where I'm at in my head. I'm excited to make some fun new content in this year. Okay, please let me know what kind of videos you want from me. I just want to try different things, as I said. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week with another video. Bye.